As you develop a deeper relationship with God, it's only natural that you'll start to want to let people know about how you're feeling and the experiences you're having. It's just no different to like you find that new latest cat video on YouTube and you just can't help but share it, except this time round, it's actually a life-changing thing that's happening to you. And for some people, getting deep and meaningful in conversation and sharing them about your faith is a little bit is easy and comes naturally. For other people, it might be a little bit scary, or not knowing what to say. You might even just be a little bit of fear of saying the wrong thing to somebody. But I'm here to give you a bit of some foundations about how you might go about sharing your faith, and encourage you to share your faith freely to people. I love to look at John chapter 4. There's a great account or a story when Jesus talks to a woman at a well. And they have this amazing conversation. She's really impacted by the things that Jesus says to her. And she immediately goes away back to her hometown and shares that story with her family and friends. And the Bible sort of tells us that as she tells her family what happens, they're all sort of struck and are really amazed by the story and actually want to go and find out for themselves what Jesus is saying. And that's really what sharing your faith is all about. It's just really sharing your experience. And that's probably the first tip, is really simply share your story, your personal story, not the story you think others want to hear. No one can really question your personal experience. Most Monday mornings I rock up at work and people are interested in my weekend and they ask me, they get the inevitable question of, what did you do? What did you do on your weekend? And straight away, that's an opportunity to just be honest. For me, I've probably been at church on Sunday and I've had a great time at worship, and I take that opportunity more often than not to just say to them, I had a great time at church on the weekend. God was really moving in a powerful way through the worship time. And straight away, you're into a space where you're not talking the usual chit chat. You're starting to break into that, meaningful spiritual conversation as well. I'd also say another tip would be to start by sharing with people that you trust and that you feel comfortable with. There's no need to start shouting out on the street corners when you're sharing your faith at the beginning. As you grow more confident in your faith, you might find God prompting you to talk to more people about what you're experiencing. This is what we call evangelism, and it's a powerful gift that God gives some of us Christians to build the church. Peter, in his letters, he wrote that always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. So it's important that we're prepared to share the things that we're experiencing and the journey we're on with Jesus. Another thing is that questions really create opportunities for truthful answers. When people ask questions, it creates opportunities to share what God's words are, what God's doing in your life, and provide biblical answers. Something else you might experience when you step out and share your faith is that you feel supported from within. So, I believe that God provides supernatural abilities and help to speak the truth about Him and what He has done. This could be through extra confidence, might be clear speech, it might even be some special information you have about a situation. These gifts really help us take our conversations from that sort of chit-chat level into more of a meaningful conversation, and then a spiritual conversation, and really a place where people are ready to start to discover for themselves who God is. Thankfully here in Australia, we have the freedom to believe in a Christian God without fear or legal punishment. However, the reality is that some Bible truths are a bit, countercultural and can sometimes be challenging for people to hear, or even come across as what we fear as judgmental or even offensive to some. But what Peter says in his advice also is to share your faith with a gentleness and a respect. Think about what other people are currently going through. Watch how they respond. Watch how they respond to your words, and wait to be invited through their questions to go deeper in that conversation. I also think what I do personally is just pray. Pray beforehand if you can, but even in the conversations, in your mind, I often find myself praying about what to say next when I can feel that conversation going a bit deeper and really feel that support from God, giving you the wisdom and the words to say. Most importantly, as I wrap up, is just remembering that that God loves all people, and those people that you're talking to, he's probably already doing a work in their lives, and he's really inviting us to share what we're experiencing because he wants to start a personal relationship with them. So just enjoy it, be natural in it, and just share your experiences is the main thing to focus on.